Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you are, wherever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, today we're going to be doing a 6-month update on my antidepressants. Basically just giving you guys an update. I feel like I gave you guys, like a mental health update, or just kind of like a life update whenever I started this psychiatry, medication diagnosis journey. And I am a little bit more than 6 months in. I'm officially 7 months in now. So it's been 7 months that I've been on my meds. And I basically just kind of wanted to share my experience with you guys and just kind of give you guys a little update just to, keep you guys on the journey with me, or just keep you guys posted. I know that there were several of you who, I've had a few conversations with you guys about, before I get into everything, hey, how you guys doing? If you guys want to book a session with me, releasing session, self-led tarot course, the new you course, which is really, really good as we step into the spring equinox, which is on March 20th, then check down below to get into it in the description. You can see where you can follow me, book with me, stay tapped in with me, all of that. And then some is going to be down below in the description box. Now, for today's video, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So as you guys know, June last year, I had a depressive episode that was very, very severe. The most severe depressive episode I've ever had, which led me to seek professional help beyond just talk therapy, led me to get a mental health diagnosis and start taking mental health medication, which is something that I have never done. And I was apprehensive about it for a few different reasons. I didn't want to become dependent on something. I wasn't really sure if it would, affect me, or what that would look like, or if I would have to be on something for the rest of my life. I don't know. I just had a lot of questions, and I think most of us have a lot of questions whenever we step into doing something different with our mental health. I haven't shared my exact diagnosis, and I haven't shared the exact type of medication that I'm on. I probably still won't. Not in today's video anyway. But yeah, I think that, 7 months in, I feel pretty good. I haven't changed my medication the entire time. I haven't gone up or down in dosage the entire time. The doctor that you have literally makes all the difference. I told you guys that, I don't know if you guys have seen my past videos about my mental health and things like that, but my best friend, my sister, started taking medication at the same time that I did. And she has been prescribed a few different dosages, to find what works for her. We just have 2 different doctors. So a lot of people are apprehensive about connecting with the psychiatrist because they're worried about, being on a high dosage of meds, or someone upping your dosage, or someone putting you on a bunch of different things. The medication is trial and error. Thank God, I was able to find someone that specializes in child psychiatry, which means they specialize in finding diagnoses with, patients that might not be the best at articulating what they're experiencing, because they're used to working with children, and they're very good at working with children. So when I found my psychiatrist, I knew I wanted someone that wasn't going to just, push a bunch of meds on me. I knew I wanted someone that was going to be able to give me, talk therapy and feedback as well about what I was dealing with specifically. Because a lot of psychiatrists, from what I've heard from people that I've talked about, that I've talked to that are also on medication for their mental health issues, a lot of psychiatrists just put them on meds, or they have to find another therapist because their psychiatrist is just going to give them medication. They're not really going to help them work through any of their issues. So I feel very blessed and very lucky to have an amazing psychiatrist that not only, helps me work through my issues, but also, has been pivotal, I think, in helping me understand how medication works, and also, just me trusting myself again with a medication. Medication is something that I feel very iffy about, because again, what if it stops working, or what if you become immune to it, or all of these different questions. But my doctor really helped me kind of understand, what I was stepping into, and what was realistic and what wasn't. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I was initially prescribed 2 medications, one antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication that I take every single day, but it's 1 pill. And then another pill that I can basically take if I'm ever having an anxiety attack or a panic attack or something like that. So I use both of those literally whenever I need to. Of course, I take my daily every single day. I have not missed a day. I do not play no games. And I take my anxiety pill as I need to if I know I'm going to step into a very stressful situation. if you have a chronic anxiety disorder or a chronic depression disorder, you may be aware of your triggers like I am. So I know I know when I'm going to step into a situation that is likely to cause me anxiety. So before I step into that, I'll just, take an emergency release. I call it an emergency release because it's kind of like, to me, it feels like an emergency brake on your panic attacks. And if you have panic attacks, like I have had panic attacks in the past, there is no emergency brake. When it's starting, you basically just on the ride until you're able to get off. So that has been a life changer for me. I haven't had any depressive episodes since I started my meds. I haven't had I wouldn't say I've had really any panic attacks either since I've started. I have been in some highly, anxiety inducing situations, but I've relied on my medication when I've needed it. And, I've asked for help when I've needed it. I've changed up my routine and my scenario when I needed it. I remember I was going through some stuff at work, and the work environment just wasn't healthy. And I dead ass was like, I'm not, coming to work anymore until I'm able to get what I need and change things around so I'm able to feel comfortable in the workplace. So there's a few things that I feel like I've gained from being on my medication. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about. One, I feel like I've gained a lot of confidence in advocating for myself because I know that my issues aren't just in my head. I know that what I'm dealing with is something serious that will affect how I eat, how I sleep, how I live, how I think, how I operate. So it gives me more courage to speak up for myself and advocate for myself, literally in front of everybody, on my job, in front of strangers. I quite literally do not care. I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself and protect my mind because it's just not something that you can play with. So I think it makes me take it more seriously. Whereas, maybe in the past, if I felt a certain way or if I was uncomfortable, I just would let myself be uncomfortable, and it would affect how I would think. It would affect me being able to sleep. Like when you have anxiety, you're never not worried about something. And, I just feel like I went a long time just being like, oh, well, I feel this way. It is what it is. I don't feel that way anymore. Like I do not play about how I feel, and I think that's what it's given me. I feel like I've told you guys this before, but I'm not sure. But I always, whenever I talked, especially the beginning of my journey, I would always tell people, oh my God, the meds are amazing. The meds, because I felt a lot more optimistic about life. I still do. I feel more optimistic about life. I feel more hopeful. I feel more, I just feel more faithful. I feel like I'm able to plan better. I feel like I'm able to find the motivation better and easier. I feel like I'm definitely in the best shape of my life. I've never been able to consistently stick with a workout routine or a mindfulness routine. Like I feel like I have my life in such a good flow, and it's been like that for the last 7 months. I don't feel like I've been drowning at all in the last 7 months. Seasonal depression is usually the hardest time of the year for me. Very, very hard, very, very dark time. And I had no seasonal depression at all, literally zero. And I started my meds in August. It takes about 6 weeks, my doctor told me, for you to see the effects. So literally right stepping into the fall and the winter season, I would have been, stepping into my medication. So I feel like it definitely made a difference between night and day. I am someone that is kind of like bombarded with like negative thoughts and fearful thoughts and sad thoughts all the time before. So I feel like it's completely changed my mind. Like I'm able to have peace of mind whenever I want it. Like I'm able to just watch movies and not have I'm able to do things without doing them because I need distractions. Like a lot of times I used to watch a lot of movies or go to the park or go run because I needed a distraction from my mental health. And now I'm able to do those things and just enjoy them. It's not about a distraction because I don't need a distraction. And if I do need a distraction, I'm able to find healthy ways to cope. I'm able to ask my friends for help or reach out to my husband or, even reach out to my doctor. I'm able to do things to, like I mentioned, advocate for myself and get that help instead of just holding it in and feeling like it's my problem. I always have said, like I mentioned, I kind of got off topic, but I always used to say like, oh my God, the medicine just makes me feel so great. The medicine makes me feel so great. And my doctor really emphasizes to me that it isn't the medicine. Like the medicine gave me the push or the energy that I needed to think differently and feel differently and live differently and see and believe differently. But those are things I already wanted to do. Like, I wanted a different life so bad. I wanted to feel better. I didn't want to live like I was living. I wanted to feel better and love better and be more independent and be more confident and have more control over my mind and over my life. And medicine was really just the first step to me kind of taking control over my life. So it's made me view myself, in a different way. I feel like I'm so strong and so capable. And, I can't believe, I was saying recently that, the most broken version of myself is the one that got help. The version of myself that, quite literally could have been the same version of myself that decided I didn't want to be here anymore. And there's so many things that I've experienced and so many songs that I've heard, and things that I've seen in the last 7 months where I've thought like, dang, maybe I could have missed this, or maybe I could have missed this. It's definitely given me a different perspective of life. I don't feel like my perspective is, like a 180 different. I don't feel like it turned me from a super down person to a super upbeat person, but I feel like I have the power to choose who I want to be and how I want to think and operate, instead of having no choice and literally just thinking and feeling whatever the darkest, scariest parts of me tell me to think and feel. In terms of side effects, I haven't had anything change since I first started on my medication. In the very beginning, I did deal with a lot of dizziness. I did have like some heart palpitations that were pretty bad, but I just split my dose in half, and I did that to kind of help ease myself into it. So if you are, going to be starting on any medication and you do have any side effects, let your doctor know. Ask, is it okay if I split this dosage in half? Is it okay if I do this or do this? It just depends on what you're taking. For some people, it might be better to skip days. For some people, it might be better to just split your dose and take it every day versus doing every other day. So it really just depends on what you're taking and what your doctor recommends. I do not recommend going off your meds whenever you want to go off them, or just being irresponsible, missing your appointments. I do not recommend that at all, because you will see a major effect in your mood and your mood swings and your mood stability. Even, in your appetite and your sleep schedules, you'll see major changes when you aren't taking your meds, or when your meds aren't regulated and you're always changing in dosage and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, I started my medication at the same time as my best friend, someone I talk to every single day. I've been able to see a definite change in us reaching like a baseline of stability, with me being on the same dosage for 8 months, 7 months, and her switching up dosages until she found her perfect one. So I would say, before you even pick a psychiatrist, before you even decide this is who I want to go with, ask, how they go about raising and lowering their dosages. My doctor likes to see her clients stable for, well, I guess her patients stable for about 12 months before she does any change with the medication, which I really like. I feel some type of way about being on meds. Honestly, I don't love putting medication in my body. If I have to, I will, but I don't love it. So I wouldn't be comfortable with a doctor that was changing and fluctuating and putting me on this and putting me on this. I feel comfortable with a physician that, puts me on something and literally monitors me, and gives me a way to monitor myself as well, because I can reach out to her anytime if I need to. So I've really appreciated that, and I haven't had any other changes. I've been eating 3 times a day, had to get my appetite under control. That's a big thing, where you can go a long time without feeling hungry. I have other friends who have been on antidepressants for longer periods of time than I have, and they've told me the same thing. Like, it can make you not feel hungry. So that's something to be mindful of. And also, it can definitely have a major effect on your libido. I haven't experienced that with my sex drive, but I have heard that is something that you can experience, some hormonal issues and libido issues. So that's something to be mindful of in terms of, being on antidepressants as well. In general, just be aware of your side effects. The biggest ones that hit me were the dizziness, the nausea, and the heart palpitations. So I think it's important to just pay attention to your body, pay attention to what's affecting you and when it is, and reach out to your doctor and ask about what you should be doing. I have, had a few moments where maybe I had some anxiety or maybe I wasn't feeling my best, but I have control over those moments. And in those moments, I have control over my mind. So that's something that is priceless to me. I love having control over my mind and, just knowing myself and feeling so comfortable with myself and just being able to trust myself. I think being able to trust yourself is the most I think trusting yourself is something that, people may not realize how big it is if they don't deal with, chronic mental issues. Being able to trust that your mind is always a safe space is probably something that a lot of people take for granted. So if that is how you feel, then do not take it for granted. And if that isn't how you feel, then I think it's worth doing something about it. Because I definitely got to the point, where I didn't trust myself. I didn't know who the fuck was talking to me. I didn't know what voice was telling me to do what. And I literally was losing my goddamn mind, literally. And since I've been on my meds, I haven't heard any of those voices. I have just, I feel like I've done a 180 in my brain, in terms of being able to have control over my brain. And I feel really, really good about that. I feel like I'm able to be more rational as well. If you're mentally ill and you're unmedicated, a lot of the stuff that you say and think is just dead ass irrational. It's just dead ass irrational. And that's not a dig or anything, because you're talking to somebody that was mentally ill for 30 years before she did something about it. So, you can't expect a sick mind to have healthy thoughts. And the sick thoughts will keep you from getting help. It'll keep you from doing anything to get better. It'll keep you thinking that it's just this, or it's just this, or it's not that serious, or it's not that deep. We can't be afraid of getting help, whatever that means. You don't have to be on medication if you don't want to be on medication. It's all about how severe your issues are, and what you feel called to do. But I highly recommend seeking help, whatever that means. If it means, finding a counselor, even somebody that shares your religious background. If it means getting sessions, booking releasing sessions, or, spiritual work on the regular. If it means joining a type of, yoga studio or health practice where you're able to connect with someone regularly on the wellness spectrum. If it means bringing in some supplements to your diet and watching what you're eating and making sure that you're putting the right things into your body. If it means just doing talk therapy. If it means medication, whatever it means, even doing EDMR therapy, where you basically, EDMR therapy, for me, is like Western medicine's version of past life regression and hypnosis, where you're able to go back to a traumatic moment in your life, relive it, and deal with it in the present moment. That's what EDMR therapy is. But it's very intense therapy for people who have gone through trauma and traumatic, moments in their lives. If you're dealing with severe PTSD and things like that, even if you have a lot of repressed memories from a deep, dark past, that could be something that you look into as well. But there's no reason to suffer and be miserable, and there's just no reason to feel like that. And like I've said, if I really want to off myself, then it's going to be because that's what I want to do. It's not going to be because something in my head told me to do it, or because, I'm sick. It's not going to be because of that. I'm so stubborn. I can't let depression or anxiety make a decision for me, honey. That's not happening. That's not happening. As long as my birthday is on August 10th, that's not happening. So, I think, whatever you can do to gain control over yourself and how you're feeling and where you're going and where you're moving is very, very important. So just, stay in tune with yourself and stay connected with yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to see what help can do for you. Don't be afraid to see what help can do for your brain. And you never know how you can be, freed from certain parts of yourself. You never know how much you can grow and how much you can change and elevate when you just really connect with yourself on a deeper level. So yes, guys, I just kind of wanted to tap in with y'all 6 or 7 months into my antidepressant journey. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to share with you guys. I might decide to dive a little bit deeper into my diagnosis and into the medications I've been on when I get closer to my year mark, because if things change around that year mark, then, I might want to share those things with you guys. There's also other evaluations that I still haven't gotten because I'm debating on if I want to get them or not. All mental health, and neurodivergent, challenges do not have medicine for them. So certain things you might get diagnosed with and you're just diagnosed with them. There's nothing you can really do about it. So the few things that I have been recommended to get evaluated for, there's no medication that I can take for it. It would just be for me to know that I have it. And I don't know if that's something I want to do or not, but I might decide to do it. And if I do, it'll probably be around the year mark of me being on this first initial journey. So yeah. I expect to continue to keep you guys updated with how I'm feeling and keep you guys in the loop. I appreciate y'all as always, and I thank you guys for being here. If you've enjoyed my mental health journey, if you've appreciated me just keeping you in the loop, then I thank you guys. Comment down below and let me know how you guys feel. If you guys have any questions about anything, you can let me know. I've also let you guys know if you want to know more about what I have going on specifically, like if you want to know specifics about medications or things like that, you can DM me. I have had a couple of you guys DM me to know some specifics, so you can let your doctor know, like, hey, I might want to look into this, or I might want to look into this. So I'm, always open to help you guys and get into a deeper conversation in private if that's what you guys want to do. So yeah, get into it. I love y'all. I thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys appreciated this update and this chit chat. Again, I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you as always. Bye guys. Bless.